I can broadcast for 8 hours, apparently. Why would I want to broadcast for 8 hours? More than I know. 2-0 Toronto, so they scored first, so that's it, right? Hockey. I'll scroll down. Is that a 3 or a 2? 3. 5-0. So the score is 5-0 Toronto right now. And they come up with another turnover. Not bad. Eight. So that's 2 threes by Lowry early. Fantastic. And then a dumb foul. Am I into having a Raptors jersey collection? No. I actually went through full moon jerseys. They have a Kawhi San Antonio for $20, and I could get a Raptors for like 13, and I thought, I don't watch basketball enough. It would be bandwagon jumping. Absolutely 100%. I agree. This Pickle Rick is nice. Now I got an Office Space jersey today, which is the staplers, but I'm going to wait for a more appropriate video to wear it. I think for basketball, this works. I don't know. Why do I hate the Jays? I don't hate them. I just got frustrated with them. I get tired of all 162 games being on TV, so it dominates Sportsnet during baseball season, and every offseason we hear about every single thing the Jays do, and then they're just not any good again. So I know it gets frustrating for me. It's overexposure. 11-2 now for the Toronto Raptors. How am I holding up? Fine. Sorry. If I was the owner of the Penguins, would I trade Malkin? I made a video on that 2 years ago that I thought they should trade Malkin. And I had a lot of flack on that one. Because at the time I thought you can get the highest return for him and you can help avoid being in a cap crunch and maybe get a little bit younger. But I would, but it's a risk. I can see why they haven't done it. Best NBA game I've ever watched. I'm trying to remember which game it was that the Celtics knocked out the Lakers in the finals. I'm trying to remember what year that was. I was a big Celtics fan in the 80s. I was a Cheers fan in the 80s too, so that helped my fandom of Boston-related teams. Camilleri 2010 playoffs. A long time ago. I'm too old to remember all that. Do I cheer for the Red Sox? I cheer for the Red Sox going back to the mid-'80s. So when that ball went between Buckner's legs, I almost cried because it was the only time my dad ever gambled with me. Well, I was 13, and I didn't know about the Babe Ruth curse. And he bet on the Mets, and I bet on the Red Sox, and I lost. And he took $10 off me. Oh, Yvonne's out. She had to take the kids to scouts and Girl Guides. So she's out right now. Why would you reboot Frazier? Will St. Louis be re-signing Binnington? Yeah. Armstrong's already said he's going to get paid, and he's going to basically pay him whatever he wants. Siakam with a 3. So it looks like Toronto's got their 3 game going. They're 4 for 5 and 3 points already in this game. Top 20 sitcoms. Yeah, I could do that. If Toronto loses, how does Canada react? Canada's usually fine with losing. Like I'm fine with the Boston thing. I watched a movie last night and I watched an episode of the Netflix show Bonding. That's a messed up show. But after watching an episode of that, I kind of forgot about hockey for a bit. That was one messed up show. And yes, Terrifier was Terrifier. You could have done a really good movie, but you should have drawn it out about the two girls rather than trying to have just a bunch of gore and over the top effects. Thank you, Kayla. Could I see the Flyers beating the Penguins in the playoffs next year? Yep. Yep. If the Penguins make it, I know Clayton and I were arguing about that during the live stream the other night. I don't think the Penguins are a playoff team unless they make major changes for next year. Did I consider doing a channel on other sports? Starting a new channel right now wouldn't work. So I mean, I'm willing to do a live stream when something big in Canada is going on like this to share with people and talk to people, but in general, it would take too much time. Another 3. Dear Lord, 5 threes for Toronto, and we're less than halfway into the first quarter. They're ahead by 9 because if you keep hitting threes, they have to try the 3 and they missed. So right now the Raptors are up by 9. Should do a video of your favorite teams. Your best team made up of current and former players. I can do stuff like that. During the summer, that's easy. During the summer, I can sit in the evening and do that kind of stuff. There's no hockey games on. There's time. There's those hot nights where you can't sleep anyways. Lots of video topics I can cover. Is there a rule in basketball that you like I could see work in hockey? I love the shot clock. I know you'll never see it in hockey. It'll never happen. But it would be fun to see there be some pressure on teams that just play defense to kind of have to take a shot. I know it can't work in hockey. I'm well aware. I'm just throwing that out there. Ovi's contract is up in 2 years. Think he goes to KHL, retires. He'll play until he can't. He'll play until he can't. And yeah, Lowry's having a fantastic game. That's what happens when you can hit 3 threes to start the game. Tends to prop up your point totals. Would I do a live stream during the World Series? See, the World Series is in October. So it always seems to overlap with hockey. That's why I can't really cover the World Series very much. Because then we're into the regular season hockey and I can't miss a game. Will Taylor Hall stay with the Devils? Yes. NHL 19 this summer? Yes. Highest rating NHL Stanley Cup final? Well, I'm guessing that's just in the States. That doesn't surprise me. The Seattle story is fantastic. And I think it's very, very interesting. I get the ratings would be down in Canada, but will I cover more topics on music? Probably. This summer's going to be tricky. One thing I mentioned to patrons, I'll mention here too. I want to expand this channel and see it grow. And if it can grow to the point where it's doing really well and the videos are getting those view counts, I have no problem expanding the topics I cover on here. It's a matter of what I know draws, and the hockey stuff draws right now. There may be the occasional cussing here and there. PGA guy channel. That would be. You imagine a live reaction to golf? Well, he hit the ball. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Do I plan to go to a hockey game in Seattle? Yes. Which of the 4 Canucks jerseys should you buy? If you don't have any of them, I would get the blue one without the word mark. I think that's going to be a really sharp jersey. Will Death Truck make a comeback? Yes. My PS4 is crap. I need a new PS4. Why would Kessel not want to go if he's not going to win next year? He didn't want to go to the Minnesota Wild. Did I see Goldberg versus Undertaker? I didn't have to. Anybody that's like, oh wow, the game it was crap. Of course it was crap. What did I think of the rookie class of 2018-2019? Good one. Start a franchise mode with Vancouver. I will probably do that. Boxing, I don't really watch boxing. I think Ghost is going to take. I would think Ghost should take a lot, but I think Philly's looking for help up front if they trade Ghost. Max going as far in the next couple of years with Besser and Pedersen, Horvat. No, they don't need a goalie upgrade. Their goaltending is just fine, absolutely fine. Do I allow donations? $20 a bit much for a mug, don't you think? I don't have any control really over the Teespring listings. I make very, very little off the Teespring listings. That's right about the price that they charge. I make not nearly as much as people might think, and that's the only official partner that you have for YouTube. Is Yvonne going to let me get a new TV? I'll buy one if I want one. She's just kidding about not letting me buy one. She doesn't think I need it. Is what it is. And I think it would be nice. I've had this TV for over 5 years. There's a couple HDMI ports on the back that aren't any good, and it would be nice to have a smart TV. This one says it's a smart TV, but it doesn't have the features that a lot of the new ones do, so it would be nice to get another one. Stick and rank thirds. They're ugly, but I'm going to get one because it's different. Is WWE dead? No. So the Red Wings introduce an update alternate jersey. They're going to. They're supposed to have a third this year. Raptors back up by 7. Thought on the U.S. women's national team celebrations. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Can I stream with my Xbox? Yeah. I just have to get it all set up first. Ghost for Kessel? No, Kessel's not going to Philly. That's not going to happen. Did we overpay for Skinner? You had to. There wasn't a better option for a goal scorer on the market, and Buffalo needed to keep him. So it's a mutually beneficial thing. Montreal, well, I don't think they'll ever change their jerseys. Sharks are prepared to offer Erik Karlsson an 8-year deal. Your thoughts? Be careful how much cap space or how much cap room you devote to him, because I don't know. I don't know if he can play a full 8-year contract with the way that his health's been going. Channel is the finals up here if you're in Canada. Sportsnet's just showing Blue Jays because, of course, they are. It's on CTV up here. No, the Canucks don't need a goalie upgrade to contend. They've got Demko and Markstrom. Markstrom was great this year. Who's on the back of the jersey? It just says Sanchez. This one just says Sanchez 13. So Rick Sanchez. Avs looking to draft Byram. Thoughts? I got the final draft book from hockeyprospect.com. It's 675 pages long as a PDF. So I intend to pour over that between now and the draft. And Byram is still rated 3rd on their list. Turcotte's rated 4th. So we'll see what happens. But the interesting thing is Moritz Seider is up to 10th. So 6-point lead for Toronto, and looks like Lowry's going to the line to shoot a couple. Will Meyer be a 40-goal scorer? Yes. Kessel can't go to Philly because they're rivals. It's not going to Philly. There's no way Pittsburgh's making that deal with Philly. Most excited for this year's draft? Just to see who goes 1 or 2. I know it's going to be Hughes. They're still picking Hughes everywhere, but it'll be interesting to see how that works. What do I think Bennington's worth? 6-7 million. Won a Stanley Cup. He was a big part of the reason why. I get the email regarding the articles of Pride jerseys. Yes, I did. Rank fandom of the 4 major sports. That's tricky because I only really care about a few teams in each sport that's not hockey. So it'd be a short video. What can the Wild do this offseason? Hopefully they're looking to get younger. Had to make a fantasy hockey team of all your favorite players. Which players would be on it? There'll likely be a video of that this summer. Highly likely that'll be this summer. Predictions on what I think may happen with Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, they're opening up the multiverse. I think they're going to change things up a lot coming out of Endgame. And I've heard about Young Avengers and Dark Avengers. I'm really kind of excited for what they're going to do with the MCU going forward. 3 points there, so Golden State keeping it close. Does Boston draft a goalie? They should. I don't know that they will. Streaming rounds 2 to 7 of the draft. Yes, we did that last year. We're doing it again this year. I think if San Jose doesn't keep Carlson, I would. I have a feeling Buffalo would be the most obvious place for him to fall. I think the Leafs would love to have him. They just don't have cap space for him. Am I attending the draft? No. I'll be live streaming. JFK, if you mean Jacob Forsbacka Carlson, he, depending on his health, he should have a spot on the Bruins, but it's tricky to figure out exactly where. Colorado winning the Central next year, they very well could. Remember, used to reply to all the comments. I used to reply to comments from everybody. I looked at the old videos, and yeah, I used to have the time for that. I just don't have the time now. I have no idea who Minnesota's going to take in the draft. It is so wide open from 4 down. And what do I think of Braun Strowman versus Lashley? It's part of the reason I canceled the network, and I haven't watched Raw in weeks. Which movie would be better, Blues or the Golden Knights? Golden Knights would be flashier. The Blues would be more of a working man's kind of movie. I think both of them could make interesting movies. The Vegas one would be a lot of fun, though. Is Panarin a good fit with Colorado? No, they don't need him. Think about the NHL rookie class. Oh, I answered that. It's fine. When does the new NHL schedule come out? Usually in August. What do the Stars do in the draft? Once you're picking at 18th, you're picking the best player available. So I don't think they'll be picking by position. So 26 to 20 right now for Toronto, but Golden State's hanging in it. Am I into the It movies? Nah, I watched the original miniseries and heard enough about the original book. I don't really have any interest in it. How many years till we get a team in Quebec? It's going to be a while. Batman Beyond Gargoyles. I enjoyed Gargoyles the first season. Batman Beyond I was okay with. I was a huge fan of the old Spider-Man cartoons in the 90s, though. Those were amazing. How come no famous hockey people follow you on social media? It depends on how you feel about famous. It's Dan Carcillo and others. I don't really think it's a big deal. I'm not considered to be an insider, so it doesn't really surprise me. Thoughts about the X-Men joining the Marvel Universe? It's overdue, and they're gonna reboot it as the rumor. What happened to my pop addiction? I still drink pop every day. I just don't drink it on videos. People made it far too much of a talking point. I just don't do it anymore in videos. It's just not worth the hassle. Are the Blues the team to beat next season? No, the Blues are a sign that we truly live in an era of parity. I think it's still Tampa could very well be the team to beat next year. Prospect Carlson, the prospect Vancouver got for Dahlin will ever make it. I don't know if Dahlin's return makes it, but rumor has it Jonathan Dahlin is going back to Sweden. So it doesn't work. And the rumor was he didn't want to do the work necessary to get the minutes. He just wanted the minutes. So Vancouver said, "Okay, you're done." Favorite Rick and Morty episode? Mr. Meeseeks. How go the Rangers be next season? Depends how they spend their cap. Any surprise teams to watch in the NHL? Edmonton's got the prospect of being a surprise team because of the fact that they've now got a better coach. They've got a better GM. There's some structure there. I think Edmonton could be a surprise. And Florida with Joel Quenneville. Florida. Of course, Florida could very well be the sexy pick to make the playoffs again. Favorite Batman movie? The first one, the original. The one from 1989. When the new Rick and Morty starts up, I will be discussing Rick and Morty, not necessarily individual episodes, but I'll definitely be talking about it. Bruins best prospect still Jack Studnicka. Probably, but I still like Vakanainen. And see, now I can say it now that I'm not doing a video about it. And I really like Trent Frederick. I know he doesn't have the upside of Studnicka, but I like Trent Frederick. So Light and Dark Avengers. No, Young Avengers and Dark Avengers. So it's a different mix of Avengers. It's a cash grab. Do you think Disney will make Deadpool? Yeah, they're going to keep making Deadpool movies because they make a lot of money. The trick is, do you try to bring him into the Marvel Universe now and tone him down in the Marvel movies, or do you just leave him on his own in R-rated movies? His movies have made too much money for them to neuter him now. I'm glad that he was able to put those movies out, and now Disney kind of has to stay true to the character. What team really needs a rebrand? The Senators. Jersey from the past should come back for a third. The Blues, in light of them winning the Stanley Cup, should bring back the Arch. Think of Elmira Brothers do from Elmira and Forsters do from here. No idea. Do I still have the Lucha mask? It was Yvonne that bought that, and yeah, I still have two of them. There's two Lucha masks that I have. I just haven't found a reason to use them yet. I don't want to just throw one on for the sake of using it. I want to make sure that I'm using it and that nobody expects it. That's really the key thing. Could Duchesne potentially go back to the Abs? I think that bridge has been burned. I don't see it. I don't see it. They are. See, this is just going too fast. They're making a movie about the Knights called Valiant. That'll work. Team, do you think will make the biggest splash in the free agent market this season? Rangers are going to be in it. Florida's definitely going to be in it. Florida has the designs of spending to the cap this coming year and improving things. Ray Ferraro. Oh, yeah. I think there's people that watch my videos. May not follow me on social media, but I think there's people who follow my work. There are times where I'm watching hockey and I'm like, that sounds pretty close to what I said. Is the new speed thing in the NHL dead after the Blues Stanley Cup win? No. Blues aren't a slow team. They just played really smart. Golden State is now down by 1 point, 26-25. Toronto has to watch this. This is really turning. You're welcome, St. Joseph. Would Vancouver get another chance in the NBA? They have to be willing to expand. And Seattle needs the team first. Favorite episode of The Office? The one where Dwight has a concussion. That is absolutely... I'm in tears every time I watch that episode. You're not the boss of this van. Do the Habs make the playoffs? Next year with a little extra scoring, yes. And that's what the Habs need to do. They need to add some scoring. If you look at WWE like a writer comedy show, it's not that bad. It's not funny. Comedy should be funny. Wrestling comedy is almost never funny. Unless it's something wrestlers do in the ring that's off the cuff, like Big E saying, I've almost had as many comebacks as Charlotte's had titles. That's his line. That's not something WWE gave him. That's his line that he threw out there because they edited all those comments out. Golden State's up by 1 now. Will there be more Shannon and Yvonne reviews on the channel coming up? Yes. We're going to go and see the Elton John movie on Saturday. Do I have the barber pole jersey from Montreal? No. Cadre de Philly, I could see that working. The Montreal screw job. Okay, so they're calling a timeout. I can do this. The Montreal screw job was that Bret Hart was going home. He goes to Vince McMahon and goes, I'm not losing my belt at home. I'm going to WCW, but at the pay-per-view, we'll do a schmoz thing at the end. There's a disqualification. And then on Monday, before I go to WCW, I'll give up my title. Vince says, fine. Vince goes to Shawn Michaels and says, you're taking the title in Montreal Sunday night. Bret didn't know. So they go in the ring, and yes, it's predetermined. Bret thought they were going to do this schmoz finish where his guys come down and they fight with Shawn's guys, and there's a double DQ or whatever. And instead, Shawn locks in a hold, which Bret was going to turn around, and the referee called for the bell because Vince told him to. So he calls for the bell as if Bret gave up, which he didn't. The fans knew he didn't give up, so the fans went nuts. And Brett spit on Vince McMahon, and he punched him in the face backstage, and then he was gone. So it wasn't that it was predetermined. It was that they had lied to Brett about what was going to happen in the match, because Vince was worried he was going to take the WWE title to WCW, which Brett was not going to do. But Brett admitted later, we weren't communicating very well, and I probably gave him reason to be worried about that. So there you go. Hopefully that explains it. I think it's the biggest name that will be traded. If Malkin gets traded, that would be huge. Will I be doing a live stream for the draft? Yes. Favorite NBA player? I know Toronto wouldn't like this. I know Canada wouldn't like this, but I like Curry. I like Steph. I do. Will I be watching the XFL? No intention to do so. Favorite MCU character? Probably Captain America. Chris Evans, and I wouldn't have thought I would have said it. Hey, Nick. What should the Stars do with their third jersey? I'd like to see the return of the actual star, the green star. Be really nice to see that come back. I did say hi, Nick, right? I'm pretty sure I did. Am I worried AEW would misuse Dean, or am I confident enough they won't? They won't, because the wrestlers have more say in the storylines and in what's going on. So because they're not scripted promos, they're just told, here's a microphone, go say whatever you want. It'll be fine. If it gets screwed up, John Moxley only has himself to blame. Marvel or DC? Marvel. Hello, Adrian. Which team in the top 15 is most likely to trade their pick? I think once you get into 7 or 8 or 9, any of them, because there will be players that they're not sold on, and teams further down might say, hey, do you want to make a deal? And they might listen. Okay, no problem, Lars. Am I doing a Bettman planned all this video? Again, when I did the Bettman behind it all video, that was totally off the cuff. Had no intention of doing it. Then I did it. The comedy videos that I do on my main channel, it's something that it has to be from the heart, and it has to be off the cuff, because if it's planned, people know. What's the most extreme metal band that I enjoy? Extreme? I mean, Slipknot shows are pretty big. I mean, there's Slipknot and Rammstein, Tool are the big three. Their shows are pretty amazing across all three of them. Ezekiel Elliott? No, I hadn't heard that. Yeah, there is very rarely a bounce pass. Will I watch Fighter Fest? Yes. Yes. Which NHL team do you think needs a third jersey? I would like to see an interesting third jersey from Montreal. I know there's no plan to have one, but I think they could do a really interesting one. Sort of a throwback to the earlier stuff. Think the Blues make any moves? If so, in what aspects? There's going to be changes to their depth players, but they have a lot of depth in that organization. I don't think there's going to be any major changes. It really depends on how much Bennington gets and what that does to their cap. I'm going to be doing the going forward video on St. Louis tomorrow, so I'll be able to take a look at that a little more in depth then. What do I think of Travis Konechny? Like him a lot. Do I know him? Amon Amarth. Amon Amarth, I like their production and their presence. I'm not a big fan of their music. Favorite Rangers jersey? The Winter Classic they wore in, I want to say 2011. Is Nashville's window closed? Yes. I'm going to watch Yellowstone Kevin Costner drama on Paramount Network. Kevin Costner, I don't know. He hasn't been anything that I've wanted to watch in a long time. I really like Travis Konechny, if I didn't answer that one already. They'd be a good idea if the Hawks decide to take Alex Turcotte third overall. I really think they're going to go with Byram. Every prospect list I've seen for the last month and a half has been Bowen Byram is number 3, and he is well and above everybody else. As I said earlier in this stream, I've got the book from Hockey Prospect that delves into the details on all of the top prospects. I know they wouldn't want me revealing all of the details, which is fine because it's 675 pages, so I couldn't even if I wanted to. But I can get into the details on why certain players are projected to go where. Turcotte's projected to go fourth, so it's not a huge reach, but we'll see. Who wins Coach of the Year? Berube. Thank you. My favorite NHL jersey all time, it would be Kings with the shield on the front. I know that's not it's not something a lot of people agree on. Could the Oilers redesign their logo, or is the name handicapping the logo? Absolutely, the name handicaps it, 100%. Would Erik Karlsson go to Toronto? He would if they had cap space. Do you have any more news on the upcoming Festy Fest? Yeah, I'm going to do some Festy Fest videos this summer because they're fun. What do you think about a Bruins third jersey? They can't miss. I haven't seen a Bruins third jersey that's been technically ugly since the Pooh Bear. And now it's been so long since the Pooh Bear, people actually think it's a nice looking jersey. Early prediction for next year's Stanley Cup winner? Tampa, because they choked. Nobody's going to pick them next year. Taro Sugimoto, the 1975 draft pick that wasn't an actual player. It was a bold move by Buffalo. Sounds like trying to offer Erik Karlsson, Drew Doughty money. What are your thoughts? That's what it's going to take. It's going to take Drew Doughty money to convince him not to test the free agent market. And I think it's too much. I think for what he provided this season, I think for the health issues he's had over the last couple of years, I just think it's too much. Am I live streaming the draft? Yes. Avs trade into the top 3? I don't think so. I think they would be quite happy with Turcotte or Byram. I don't think they need to trade into the top 3. Pittsburgh make the playoffs next year. They're a team that I think could fall. Should the Caps use the Eagle logo as their main logo? Their current secondary, that would be a fantastic main. And I do very often see that used as the logo on websites when they show the scores. They very often use the Eagle with the Capitol building outline in the bottom. It's really, really nice. So the Islanders trade Leddy. I would trade Boychuk. I wouldn't trade Leddy. You could probably get back a decent return for Leddy, but I honestly wouldn't do it. I'd trade Boychuk first. Do you think Carolina brings up Nedeljkovic? Probably. He had a good year. The Checkers, of course, had a very good year. So there's going to be some attention paid to guys down there, including him. It certainly would help them. Then they'd only need to worry about finding one goaltender. Because I'm pretty sure both goaltenders, their contracts are expiring. Favorite Five Finger Death Punch song? See, Vaughn's not here. Her favorites Wash It All Away. I don't know. I always like their cover of Bad Company. I know that's lazy, but that's probably my favorite of theirs. Although their cover of Gone Away is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's haunting. Carter Hart was 20 in 2010. Would Philly win the Cup? That question was asked to me last night. Hard to say. I don't think that Chicago won it by goaltending. I don't know. Maybe. We haven't seen how Hart performs in the playoffs yet, though. Playoffs are a whole other beast. So 35-34 right now for Toronto. They're barely holding on. Hi, Emmy. Really surprised. Been watching old videos as well. Thank you very much. Am I going to watch the new Spider-Man movie? Yes. Who would have won the Stanley Cup in 2018 if the Blue Jackets swept the Caps? Probably Vegas. The NHL missed a huge opportunity by not going to Korea and promoting hockey before the Pyeongchang Olympics. Nah, I think Olympic involvement is great for the players and it's great for us as fans. It really does not seem to increase hockey interest in the rest of the world. It does for the Olympics, but once they're over, it doesn't seem to make a dent in how popular the sport is worldwide. Will I make hockey videos or any videos about hockey in Asia? I've got videos about all kinds of stuff back. I've got videos making all kinds of stuff back here. Brian Rafalski going to be in my Hall of Fame? I don't know. Rainbow Butt Monkeys or Finger 11? Finger 11 for length of time. But I had the Rainbow Butt Monkeys first album. That was fantastic. That was a great album. Favorite animated movies? Transformers. Man, there are so many questions on here. See, this is why Yvonne ends up missing questions. I can't even watch the game. Best jersey to buy this summer? I'm going to be buying all the thirds in all likelihood. Golden State's up 36-35. Jake Allen and Edmonton? No. The King's Shield. They had the old coat of arms they had for the Kings before they had the crown on the front, and after they had the original crown on the front. And watch, yeah. I'm gonna. Do you think Philly will trade Ghost to the Habs? It sounds like there's where there's smoke, there's fire. In all likelihood, they probably want a little more back than was rumored, or there may be more pieces involved. What team's white jersey would I recommend getting in the NHL? I like New Jersey's. The Devils is really nice. I don't like the change in the stripes, but it's really, really nice. It's really sharp. More movie reviews. Yes, there'll be one this weekend. Teams missed that made it this year. I went into that last night too. The picks for me would be Carolina and Dallas. What should we expect from the main channel? Just regular videos. Golden State's up by 1 again. Yeah, just regular videos. Lots of different playlists. I've still got them on the board from a Patreon video I made today. There'll be a lot of different playlists I'm going through, and I'm going to try to make sure there's content on every team and at least once a week. So if you're like, I just want to watch Anaheim videos, I'm going to try to make sure you have an Anaheim video to watch that week, or at least every 10 days, somewhere in that range. Yeah, I don't really care how to say Nedeljkovic. You know what? And I was trying to get it all right, and then I heard the guys talking on Sportsnet, and I was like, oh, they just say Nedeljkovic. I'll leave it. The Black King Shield is my favorite one. Jake Allen to Carolina. I think Jake Allen's going to get moved. I'm not sure where. Carolina might work. Wow. That's a 5-point lead for Toronto. Van Vliet with 3. I think even the referee's like, where'd that come from? Toronto fans kind of fired up at Jurassic Park. Yeah, I stopped the Jersey series at Buffalo. I may restart that, and I may because I've acquired jerseys since then, and I may do like the jersey history videos again. Should the Islanders trade Grace? Well, it depends on whether or not they keep Leonard first. Oh, Bennington's not getting traded. Had to create a team of all your favorite NHL players who would be on it. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing videos on that this summer. Be a lot of stuff. I'm gonna look through old. I'm even gonna get Yvonne to look through old 2016 videos from 3 years ago, and say, look, just go through, find topics you think it might be fun if I did again, because she knows the stuff that I talk about and all that regular, anyways. Favorite Raptors jersey? I like the black one. The black one's nice. Because Marchand stopped crying yet. I will say this, I'm a Boston fan, but Marchand really rubbed Vancouver's nose in it when they won Game 7. So while I feel horrible for the Bruins, there's a part of me saying, all right, now you know how it felt for Vancouver, Marchand, and you were rubbing their nose in it, and you did for years. Every time he came to Vancouver, if he got in it with the fans, he'd kiss his finger like he was kissing his cup ring. There's a little bit of that poetic justice in there, and hopefully he learns from this. Hopefully. Who's getting Bobrovsky? I think Florida. So the Canucks draft a forward or defenseman. Always draft the best player available when you're drafting at 10 and below. I don't think you draft by position. I think you draft best player available. Least favorite team? Montreal and Pittsburgh are fighting over that one. Tasting Jif peanut butter is like tasting peanut butter for the first time. Every time. Is Bergeron a Hall of Famer? I think so. I think so. And yeah, I'll do NHL streams, but I need a new PS4 first because the HDMI cable is just screwed. And I think there's been problems with the PS4 I've had it for years, and it's done. It's gone through 2 moves and it's decided it's done now. I find, Montreal brings in that AdSense, meaning revenue. I find all 31 teams bring in revenue. I picked up a lot of Carolina fans when the surge was a big deal. Picked up a ton of Blues fans during the finals. Honestly, and the thing is, Canadian fans, we have all kinds of hockey coverage up here. In the States, they really don't. So I've found that depending on the time of year, I may have more views in the States than I have in Canada, and sometimes it's not even close. Do. Johansson to Colorado. That's a reasonable move. I think that would be good for them because they need that depth scoring. So still a 5-point lead for Toronto. We're in the second quarter. Do I think the U.S. will overtake Canada as the best international team in the next 15 years? I'm assuming you mean in hockey, and the answer is maybe. That was what we all thought back in the early 2000s, and then it didn't really happen. Certainly the U.S. national team is developing players better than ever, and they seem to be a good option if you don't want to do the Canadian juniors. They at least have an even chance of it. They have a better chance now, I think, than they did 20 years ago. Missed 3 there by Siakam. They're throwing up too many threes again. Why don't I like the Habs? My favorite team's Boston, and my dad's favorite team was Montreal, and it was a natural rivalry we had with one another, as father and son, and then through those teams. Will the Blues win renew interest bringing a hockey team to Kansas City? The interest in a team in Kansas City was there before Columbus came in. There was a belief that Kansas City be one of the expansion locations. That just didn't happen. They've got the arena. They just need an owner. So if the owner comes in, I think the NHL would be open to it. I can't show the game because that's copyrights. I don't violate copyrights on either of my channels. That way, I don't have to worry about it. I say the Lightning trading someone such as Palat, Miller, or Killorn. Killorn, I think Killorn could go. I've always thought Killorn is overpaid. If the Raptors win, will Canada explode? No, but I would expect there to be celebrations across the country. People have really picked up on this story. I think, really, if Toronto wins tonight, the big storyline is that would mean that the Golden State Warriors lost 3 games out of 3 at home. That's huge. Right after Boston lost 3 out of 4 against St. Louis at home in the Stanley Cup Finals. So that's the unpredictability factor we like in sports. Point will stay in Tampa. The thing with Killorn is it's that $4.25 million a year, I think, that he's making. No, he took that shot after the foul. So 43-42 in favor of Toronto. That's basketball. Things are really, really close. dirty move by Curry there. And I mean that in a good way. It's not a bad way. It's he got himself some space there. That was nice. Getting any more geeky jerseys soon? I have an Office Space one that I got today. I'll wear that when it's a more appropriate topic. I felt Pickle Rick was as close as I could come to a sports themed jersey for this that wasn't hockey. Who do I think is going to win? It is really hard to win 3 in a row. If Golden State wins this one, I still think it's Toronto's in Game 7. They have to come out and play their game and play hard. They have to outwork Golden State. Is Bettman all about the money, or does he care about hockey? He cares about hockey, but the owners are paying him and keep him because he has brought them revenues they never dreamt of ever. So it's kind of both. He has to care about hockey, but at the same time, if he's not making more money for the league can always replace him with somebody else. Thank you, Deborah. Do I follow Strongest Man? No. Where do I think Duchesne goes? I could see Columbus keeping him. I think Montreal would make a lot of sense. Marner worth more than Draisaitl? No, but he's going to get paid more than Draisaitl. Did I think about wearing my tank for the NBA stream? Maybe, but it's cooler in my room than it is upstairs, and I don't know how much cooler it's going to get during this game, so it's just easier to wear a jersey. Panarin in Montreal. Panarin said he wanted to go to a big city. I guess if Montreal counts. St. Louis versus KC. That would be an interesting battle in hockey if that were to happen. Thoughts when the NHL went 6 divisions in 98? I was fine, except the Southeast was weak. And anytime you have divisions with that few of teams, you're going to have a weak division. That's just the way it's going to work. I thought that with the playoff format, it really wasn't a big deal, but I know people weren't happy about it at the time because the Southeast looked really weak. Who do I think is current evil empire of hockey? Apparently, it's Boston. The feedback I get is that it's Boston, and then with the way that Bruins fans have been reacting to my content over the last week, I don't know that I can refute that claim much longer. Where would Panarin go? I think Florida may go for both Panarin and Bobrovsky. Is McDavid gone? He's not here. Favorite Major League Baseball team? Am I allowed to say Expos? I know. San Diego Padres. What would I want as a dream matchup for the Stanley Cup Final? Well, I had Vancouver and Boston. That sucked. So Dallas and Boston. If they just end up hating each other too. What do I think of Stan Bowman? I think he's a decent general manager. The score, I believe it's a 1-point lead still for Toronto. It's close. They've been exchanging the lead back and forth consistently for about a quarter now. So it's been close. Expansion in Omaha? No. I don't know that the NHL is going to expand again. Nolan Patrick going to thrive under AV? He could. I mean, AV really helped Kessler, so he very well could. Who could Carolina sign? Well, they need a goaltender. I think the Hawks may be trying to move Anisimov right now, but we'll see. I don't think the Hawks need to do a ton. I think there's a lot of room there for them to improve next year. Just based on the guys they've got coming up. So yeah, I was right. It is still a 1-point lead for Golden State. And it's a 3-point lead for Golden State. Thundering dunk by the Golden State Warriors. Do I hate outdoor games? No. How much does Sundqvist make next year? He won't get much. Why don't I have a Grizzlies jersey? I never had a Grizzlies jersey. I never watched enough basketball to say, hey, I need a basketball jersey. I watched the Grizzlies, but I just work Canucks stuff while I watched them. The score is 46-43 for Golden State currently. Carlson to Buffalo makes sense. Winter Classic at Wembley would be pretty epic. I don't know that it ever happens. Could Carolina get Bobrovsky? I think they'll be in the mix, but with Tom Dundon wanting scoring, I don't know that he wants to spend that kind of money on goaltending. Siakam's having a pretty good game. He did throw up a brick for that 3 earlier, but he's having a pretty good game. It's 47-46 now for Toronto. And they missed a 3, but they got the rebound, so Golden State has it. How many jerseys do I have? A lot. It's a lot. Detroit will make their pick. Will Maroon go back to St. Louis? Yes. Best GM in the NHL? I thought it was Yzerman when he was in Tampa, so I'll still say Yzerman. And yes, it's going to be a nail biter. This one's going to be close. I've always been amazed at just how little contact you need to get a foul call in basketball. To me, it's just so weird. Where it's like, I barely touched his finger. Foul. Really? Because, really? That's a foul. Least favorite professional sport to watch? Cricket, because I can't get into it. I've tried. I just can't. Even darts is fun. Darts is fun because you watch it with the British announcers and everybody's drunk in the background. All the fans are drunk and yelling and shouting and singing. It's hilarious because it's just darts, but they make it sound really exciting. What's wrong with Toronto's defense? Golden State has an amazing offense. Toronto has to play so smart and really, really collapse and box them out. And it is way easier said than done. I disagree. Yesterday's game I found very entertaining. I know that it sucked that Boston lost as a Boston fan, but yesterday's game was a very entertaining game. Just the way that St. Louis managed to score against the flow of the play, and then they did it twice. It was just, it was fantastic for St. Louis. Tough for me to watch as a Bruins fan. And once that second one went in, I was like, well, crap. I've seen this before. Do I play snooker? No, but every now and then, Yvonne and I will go to the Castle Fun Park, a local arcade, and we'll play pool by ourselves. I'm not great at it, but I know what I want to do. It's just the ball never goes where I want it to go. I know exactly what I want it to do. I watch The Color of Money. Fan of motorsports? I used to get up early in the morning and watch F1. Formula One was it for me. I thought I liked Indy racing until I watched a couple of Formula One races. And I was like, no, Formula One's it. Going back to the days of Ayrton Senna and Prost, when those two were always going at it with each other. But, yeah, I don't really have the time for it now that I did. Ever played pickleball? Ironically, no. Favorite thing about Canada? It's just so chill. I've spent a lot of time in the States over the last couple of years, and Canada just feels really chill. It's just it's a nice. I like being home, and I don't say that as an insult to the United States. I like being home. I like my country. It's a fun place to be. That's an over and back. So Toronto gets it. They're up by 2. Careless ball control there by Golden State. NHL game has a lot of nothing happening, board play, little display of individual skill and passes. You think it's bad now? You should have seen it back in 2003. Back in the time of hooking and clutching and grabbing, when you'd routinely have games that were 1-0. I think there was the one year, I think there was 106 shutouts in the league. It was abysmal. I couldn't watch the game. If the game was played like that now, I don't think the channel would exist because there's no way I could watch every hockey game. Defense wins championships in hockey, and definitely St. Louis boxed out the Bruins really, really well. But I still thought it was fun to watch. Way more fun than the early 2000s. No, they haven't. They haven't said anything about the Seattle team name. Sockeyes is the one that they've floated out there. I think that was just to see what the public reception would be. 3-pointer for Golden State. They're back in the lead 54-53 with 1:38 left in the first half. Oh, we'll see if Durant being out hurts them. Because right now it's only a 1-point game. Toronto's back in the lead 55-54. I get nervous because the longer this thing's close, the more I think, Golden State's overdue for a run. And I really think that the injury to Durant, they're going to use as a rallying point. The last couple of games too, it seemed like the Warriors were getting really frustrated, and in this game they're not. They're not getting frustrated at all. They're not scoring in that play either, though. St. Louis parade on Saturday. Well, that makes sense. I think they almost always have the parades on Saturday. Favorite province excluding BC. I'm from Ontario. I should say Ontario, but I have family in Newfoundland, so Newfoundland. I need to go to Newfoundland. I need to find a reason that I can go to Newfoundland and have a nice long vacation down there with my family that I haven't seen since I was like 2. Thoughts on the 13-0 score in the Women's World Cup? I don't like seeing scores get run up. I know that goal differential makes a difference in the World Cup, but at some point, you just got to let up. That's a score that it's like the girls on the Thailand team had never played soccer before kind of score. Do I watch CFL? No. I used to, but not anymore. I used to watch all kinds of sports, but at that time, I didn't watch all the hockey. I would just watch the Canucks. So now it's got to be hockey. Yeah, Newfoundland's beautiful. I was born in Ontario. My dad was stationed in Petawawa. Shortly after I was born, he got stationed in Gander. I have family in St. John's, and then I ended up in Regina. I barely remember Gander because I was 2, and I have memories of Regina from when I was about 4, and then I was out in BC. Which coaches are in trouble next year for their jobs? Paul Maurice has a lot of pressure on him next year. Lots. If the Jets don't get off to a good start, there's going to be a lot of pressure there. And I would think that John Cooper, if Tampa starts off slow after getting swept in the first round, they could look to make a move there too. If I ever had a meetup in Buffalo, I'd love to travel everywhere. That's the plan. As at some point, it's just we've got kids, and trips like that are really expensive. Going coast to coast is really expensive. So, yeah, 60-57 right now. So there is no defense in this game whatsoever. Both teams have said defense. Not worried about it. Both teams are shooting really well too, though. Alberta, I like Alberta. I have a problem with Alberta. I've gone to Edmonton twice in the last decade. Where does basketball rank compared to hockey? I honestly, if I have to sit and watch something, hockey would be number 1. NFL football would be number 2. A baseball game would probably be number 3, depending on who's playing. And I'd probably have basketball at 4. Prediction for win the Stanley Cup in 2020. I'm going with Tampa because nobody's going to pick them. Have I seen the movie Rush? I own it. It's a very good movie. Thoughts on Quebec? I have never visited Quebec. I have no idea when I'm getting the play button. I haven't even been notified yet. So I have to wait until I get notified by YouTube, which can take a while. They apparently the system takes a while to notify you. I know Dangle got his. I'm not really overly worried about it. So when I get it, I get it. So I expect complete overall on the Vancouver Canucks defense. If Edler goes, they kind of are forced to do something major. It'll be really interesting to see what Benning does, because I don't think there's anybody on the market that's necessarily an upgrade on Edler. You could point to Carlson, but Carlson's not going to Vancouver. I can't apply for the play button until I get a code from YouTube. YouTube sends me a notification. Here's your code. And then I give that code to the third party that actually sends the play button out. It's not actually from YouTube. So I need to get that code from YouTube first. Will the NHL expand to Mexico? No. How much is Aho worth? 7-8 million? He's worth a lot. Like he's gonna get seriously paid, and he's worth it. Favorite classic rock guitarist? Jimmy Page. Until I see Zaitsev in a Vancouver jersey, I'm not worried about it. And I wouldn't be worried if I was Edmonton either. I think there's a lot of press that's reporting. I think Zaitsev probably ends up going somewhere we're not even talking about. Who do I want to play me in the movie of the 2019 Blues? To play me in the movie? Well, I live to see the Canucks win a cup. I don't know if I can live to be 180. That's about how long I think it's going to take. And even then, that's optimistic. Who would play me in a movie? Steve Buscemi? I don't really have an opinion on that. Does the NHL help form a women's league? They've been helping the women's leagues the whole way along. That's why I don't understand people saying, oh, the NHL shouldn't step in. They've been helping the whole way through. And teams have been helping the whole way through as well. It's good cross promotion. It doesn't matter if it loses money. It's good cross promotion. And it, in this day and age, it's the appearance of whatever it is that's just as important as what it actually is. So they've already been helping. I think that it'll happen. Favorite WHL team? That'd be the Vancouver Giants. Will NFL football be highlighted on this channel? A little bit. Why do I feel Hogan heel turn to NCW and NW? Why do I feel the Hogan heel turn to NWO worked in WCW, but Austin heel turn joining McMahon never had the same feel? Because Austin had already been a bad guy. Hogan as a bad guy was completely foreign to everybody except me. I hated Hogan. I didn't actually watch that event. I had people saying, "Oh, Hogan turned heel," and I was like, "Good, he's a jerk." They're like, "No, seriously, he's a bad guy," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's a jerk." I remember when he was a good guy in WWE, and every match ended with him smacking somebody in the face with a chair. And I was like, "Wait, he's the good guy? Why is he the good? He's smacking people with chairs. He's rolling out of the ring and getting disqualified on purpose. What the hell?" And, oh, he's a hero. Oh, he wasn't. He was never a hero. At least I never thought so. NHL to Portland, Oregon? I don't think so. I think it would work, but I don't think they do it. Thoughts of rumors that Jeremy or Shane McMahon might become WWE champion. Part of the reason I've stopped watching. They keep building up Shane McMahon, a 49-year-old man who's not even a pro wrestler, to make him champion like his dad was 20 years ago, because they figure, well, it got Vince heat. It worked with Vince. It doesn't work with Shane. No, Yvonne's been messaging me. What time? We're coming over. Just answering a message. And that won't make her happy. This jersey is a Pickle Rick's jersey from the amazing Rick and Morty. because I can get away with that because we're not on the Hockey Channel right now. The Memorial Cup was fun. I felt bad for Prince Albert because I thought they were gassed from playing against Vancouver, but I was fun and the right team won. Seattle's AHL team is either going to be in Palm Springs or Boise, Idaho. Boise has the inside track. I think they go with Boise. I'll grab my drink. Eat peanuts, and then you end up being thirsty because you're eating peanuts. All right, that's better. What happens to the Boston 2019 champions gear? Would I buy one if I could find it? Absolutely. Yes. Yes. 100%. I would love to have champions gear for every team that actually lost in the Stanley Cup final. So I could have like a whole line of t-shirts that every time I wear them, somebody just gets triggered watching the video and goes, they didn't win that year. That would be fantastic. That would be great. My NFL team, the Chargers. Habs have some decent projects or prospects. Do I plan on promoting this channel more? During the summer, yes. I will be doing more on this channel this summer. And we'll see how it goes. I've always been willing to keep this channel, really active and do a lot with it. The problem is that when you're making about 2% off of a video on this channel that you make off your main channel, it's hard to argue you should. It's just the reality is, if I make 2% of what I make on my main channel doing a video here, it's hard to say I'm going to do more videos over there and less over here. Everything's going fine. And yeah, it's a Pickle Rick jersey. Oh, it's not cola. It's a root beer. The A&W root beer. I would love to do Major League Baseball videos, but we're into hockey when the baseball postseason rolls around. And then I have to give my energy to hockey. My wife already doesn't see me. If Boise has the American Hockey League team, then they move up. So they moved up to the East Coast League. They would just move up to the American Hockey League. And then that East Coast Hockey League roster would be moved somewhere else. How far can Canada's women's soccer team go? I don't think they're going to win it. I think quarterfinals. I don't see them as being good enough to win it this year. I really don't. I think their best chance was a while ago. Will I ever get a dog? No, we have 4 cats and 3 kids, and we have enough. We're good. I don't think a dog works. Dog requires a lot more attention than a cat, and I don't think that's fair. Can the Sens ever be a contender with Melnick at the helm? Yes. The question becomes whether or not they will. Has there ever been a player who started as a winger, transitioned to center? Yes, plenty of them. Mark Messier started out as a left winger. Trevor Linden started out as a right winger. Those are just 2 off the top of my head. And, of course, with Carolina, they had Aho transition to center this year. Do I see the Raps winning today? It's close. It's really, really close. Dream vacation? A dream vacation would be anywhere in the Caribbean. Some really nice, beautiful Caribbean island. Vaughn can go out snorkeling and swimming, and I can just hang out on the beach. That'd just be great. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? I have no idea, so I'll say Patriots because it's always the Patriots. Isn't it always the Patriots? It's kind of just the Patriots. It's kind of how that works. Crosby is the NHL 20 cover. I wouldn't have a problem with it. You try to put somebody in the cover that can sell it. Sebastian Aho is going to make probably 7, 8, 9 million. He's going to make whatever he wants. Biggest big game player in NHL history? Hard to argue against Messier. And I was not a fan of Messier when he was in Vancouver, but it's hard to argue against Messier. Sen's best prospect? Brandstrom. I would go with Brandstrom. I think Dorian talked him up to a ridiculous extent when he traded for him, but I think Brandstrom's going to be the real deal. When will Tom Brady retire? After he's dead. Is Dylan Larkin elite? I like Dylan Larkin a lot. Will I live stream Game 7 if it happens? Be on Sunday, I think. I think there's 2 days in between games. Possibly. I'd have to see what I'm doing on Sunday. It's the off season. Yvonne wants to see more of me than she saw of me during the hockey season. What's going on with Besser's contract? Nothing yet. Charlie McAvoy is definitely the real deal. He had some struggles in this year's playoffs, but I like him a lot, and I think he's going to make a lot of money. Thoughts on John LeClair? If John LeClair became a Philadelphia Flyer sooner than he did, he may very well have ended up being a Hall of Famer. As soon as he got to Philly, it just clicked. Not a Hall of Famer due to just not putting up those tremendous numbers for long enough and ending up with career numbers that are high enough, but excellent goal scorer in his time and a bigger part of the Legion of Doom line than I thought he was given credit for at the time. Everybody talked about Lindros, but LeClair was really fantastic. Will Martin Jones have a bounce back season? If he doesn't, he'll be done pretty early. If he has a rough, let's say, first 15 games of the year, I think San Jose will be looking at for an upgrade. Chara Fay is most likely to hold out as long as Nylander. I'm terrified it's going to be Brock Besser. Oh, the Child's Play video or trailer. That comes out June 21st. You know, I didn't like the Child's Play movies. This one looks like it might be fun. Because Luke Skywalker is Chucky. I like that. Do I watch Formula One? I used to. Will Drouin be traded? There's a chance of that. I think he hasn't fit in great in Montreal, but I think at this point, I think his ceiling's probably not where we thought it was going to be when he was drafted. Chara will retire. Chara's got one more year. He signed for another year. And then, yeah, I would think he stays in the Boston organization in some manner. Plans for the draft. Live stream, free agency, live stream. I do a live stream on July 1st. And I even got a special hat for it today. So there you go. And then I do individual videos on the big contracts that got signed that day after the live stream. So it's a pretty busy day on the channel. It's my busiest day of the year. Best Stephen King adaptation? I know he didn't like it, but man, the original Shining with Jack Nicholson was fantastic. Would Dougie Hamilton fit in Toronto? Yeah. Do I watch soccer? I watch the Men's World Cup. I haven't watched the women's yet. It's just, been all hockey and I'm watching basketball. I haven't had a chance to watch the women's. Will Shattenkirk be traded? I think New York's looking to upgrade their blue line, and I think Shattenkirk's still a part of their future. I think he's probably got one more year to turn it around. Best Black Mirror episode. I'm going to have to go through that. Yvonne and I were talking about it last night that we need to do our list, and then we're going to do a countdown of our favorite episodes of Black Mirror. We're going to be really, really close to Instinct, though. I know we laughed so hard at the Miley Cyrus episode. I haven't laughed that hard watching anything in a long time. So early on, I'm thinking that might be my favorite, although the Star Trek riff that they did there, that was a lot of fun as well. There's some fun stuff in there for sure. Nylander, Vancouver? No. Willie Nylander's not going to Vancouver. You will hear that rumor every single time that Toronto is talking about. Toronto media is talking about Nylander. Nylander's not going to Vancouver. Not only that, I don't think they want to move him. Am I excited for the new Tool album? And you're not a fan of 10,000 Days? The first two songs they've played live sound a lot like 10,000 Days. They really do. So I think it's going to be quieter. It seems like it's going to be a more introspective type album. They're getting older. I know from the Perfect Circle album they released last year, it was a quieter, more subdued Maynard that we got. I have a feeling Tool's going to be that same way. So I watch Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I love Nightmare on Elm Street movies. We've got reviews on this channel of Yvonne and I talking about Nightmare on Elm Street movies that I've made her watch, which are always fun. Yes, Black Mirror is a really fun show. Some of the episodes are dark and depressing, but there's some really good fun ones in there too. Hello? I think Star Wars was now get better, worse than it is. I think Star Wars movies are fine. I think we're overly critical of them now. I got a video on this channel on me tearing apart The Empire Strikes Back, which made some people upset. But it's just that if you're looking for logic, you're not going to find it in a Star Wars movie. Just enjoy them for what they are. Sadine's and Luongo, all three of them make the Hall of Fame. Have I watched the Indiana Jones movies? Yes. And the last one was terrible. And I'm stunned that they're going to make another one. Miss on the 3 right off the opening. Toronto can widen their lead a bit here. Favorite Led Zeppelin album? Zeppelin 3. Not 4, 3. 3 was my favorite. Will Seth do what Dean did and leave? I think he's happier in the company than Ambrose was. I don't think Seth leaves. Will the Pens be able to grow to Jack Johnson? They're trying. Thoughts on Bergeron groin injury? How long he can keep up the workload? It's not unusual. 2013, he was playing with cracked ribs. I think it was cracked ribs and a shoulder or something. Like guy's a warrior. He'll be fine. Do I game? I play games here and there. I know on my Steam account, I went onto Yvonne's computer and downloaded Sims 3 for her because I have that on my Steam account. She was like, "Oh, you have that?" Because I got Sims 4 for the Xbox, so that when I'm doing videos and she's bored, she can load up Sims 4 because I feel bad for her. So, she's like, "Are you coming in? I got to do another video." Okay. So that's as close to gaming as I get. Black Mirror is a really dark, futuristic version of Twilight Zone. So it's its own universe, and in different episodes, you'll see Easter eggs pointing back to other episodes. And like in season 5, they had Easter eggs that pointed back to season 4 and season 3. It's its own universe. It is set in the future, and in some cases, it's a very bleak and dark future. In some cases, it's just a dark future. It's not really uplifting and happy for the most part, but there are some episodes that are pretty darn funny. Favorite Beatles song for me, Helter Skelter, or While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Where's Clayton? Why would Clayton be here? He doesn't live here. He came over to watch the Bruins games with me. (64-62) Toronto. Van Vliet, bad turnover. Toronto gets it. Nope, they didn't. Tie game. Nice play by Thompson. Thoughts on Letterkenny? I love Letterkenny. No, Yvonne? No, she went out. She had to take the kids to Gabriel has scouts, and Adelaide has Girl Guides. No, Clayton is not my son. Clayton, that's the first time I've hung out with Clayton at all, other than meetups. Of course, I've heard of Urinating Tree. Him and I follow each other on Twitter. He gave my channel a shout out just before it hit 100,000 subscribers. So that definitely, I know that helped my numbers that day. So yeah, I'm aware of him. He's aware of me as well. No, Clayton is not replacing the cats. I had no idea there were riots anywhere last night. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the final season of Jessica Jones. I love Jessica Jones. And I'm glad it gave Kristen Ritter a chance to be the lead. Kristen Ritter uh, was always cast before this as the sarcastic best friend. She was never like the love interest or anything, which I always thought was really weird. It's like in Hollywood, it's like, okay, the blonde has to be the main attraction, and all the guys like her. And the brunette, well, she's just sort of there, and she can be sarcastic and plucky. I don't understand that in Hollywood at all. So thankfully, Kristen Ritter finally has a star-making vehicle, and hopefully she moves on to better things. And congratulations to her. She's about to have her, I believe, first child. The Penguins take Zach Trotman and turn him into Chris Letang, put him in the second. Zach Trotman is nowhere near that. Will Vancouver ever get another basketball team? I hope so. It was a shame that it turned out the way it did. There they go. So 69-66 in favor of Toronto, third quarter, 8:16 left. Will St. Louis get another football or NBA team? I don't think they get a football team. Basketball, I think they go back to Seattle, and I think that might be it. Like, I'd love to see a team in Vancouver, but I don't know that St. Louis gets one. And even Seattle, they've been kind of jerky, I've thought, with them. Best Rammstein album is Herzlite. I like Herzlite a lot. It's an underrated album. It was one that Yvonne had never heard. So when I met her, I was like, you have to hear this album. Their brand new album, though, is absolutely fantastic. The more I listen to it, the more I'm sold on it. Absolutely wonderful. Pittsburgh's going to be 2020 favorites for the Cup for Sidney Crosby reasons. Shows I'm trying to watch and catch up on for the summer. Well, I'm caught up on Legends. I'm caught up on Flash. I'm not caught up on iZombie. There are other shows as well that I've been meaning to watch and get caught up on, but those are just the ones off the top of my head. Will the Canucks ever win a cup? I don't know. No idea. The Hurricanes make the playoffs next year. We'll see. They're a team that I could see falling back out of the playoffs next year, but there's a lot of moves to be made this summer. Flash has definitely fallen off over the last couple of years. I skipped 2 episodes. There were 2 episodes this year that I saw the start and I went, well, I know where this one's going. And I fast forwarded right up to the last 5 minutes of the episode, skipped it completely and missed nothing. That's a problem. I thought the storyline with their daughter was interesting, but ultimately felt kind of hollow. They need to have somebody other than Reverse Flash. I mean, Eobard Thawne is great and all, but they need another villain that can stand up to him, somebody that extends into more than just one season. Am I an Iron Maiden fan? I don't mind them. I didn't try to go see them live when they were here, though. Habs next year, they just need offense. 72-67 right now for Toronto. They're ahead by 5. Curry gets a 3. Steph is deadly. Are Marvel movies are getting lame? Not really. I think people are just being harder on them now than they were. They're comic book movies, so it's going to be tough. This next go around of movies might be tough because without Captain America, without Iron Man, I don't know. I would expect box office to drop a little bit. Is Tom Brady the best ever? Yes. Will Isles win the cup under Trotz? They probably need a little more offense to make that happen. AEW will probably be on TV in Canada in October when it goes live on TNT. They'll probably work out some kind of an agreement with one of the Canadian sports networks. I wouldn't be surprised to see a TSN pick it up. Robert Pattinson is the new Batman. He'll be fine. Yeah, I think Batman's overrated. It's not the actor you get in the costume; it's the script you have. Christian Bale, I think, was. I laughed at points where Christian Bale was Batman. I laughed at Batman. You shouldn't be laughing at Batman. So it's the scripts. Favorite all-time sports moment that's not hockey. I'm trying to think of an Olympic moment. I mean, there's numerous times where Canada's won gold medals, and I've freaked out. Jennifer Jones curling when she won the gold. I know that sounds odd, but there was that one Olympics that I got up in the middle of the night every night to watch the Olympics. It was before I had a channel, obviously, but I got up in the middle of the night every night to watch the Olympics. I was off. I had a holiday that week. Agreed that the Islanders need a superstar. Jack Hughes is most frequently being compared to Patrick Kane. Now, as I've been mentioning, now that I've got the black book that hockeyprospect.com compiles over the entire year, which is 675 pages on every single prospect that's draftable, basically. I'll be looking through that, and I can definitely do videos in between now and the draft on prospects and what their most likely upside is and all that other wonderful stuff. Who retires first, Brady or Undertaker? I think Undertaker wants to retire now. Do I like Jay and Silent Bob? I love Jay and Silent Bob. I do. Clerks 2 is a movie that I know at my old job, I worked at a call center, and I was in a section where I didn't have to take calls all day, so I would watch Clerks 2. And if somebody was going to sit in my area of 4 cubicles, it was required they had to watch Clerks 2 at least once before they could sit with my friend and I. They had to watch Clerks 2. That was just required. Especially the Donkey Show. You have to watch the Donkey Show. You're going to sit with us, you got to watch the Donkey Show. See, we didn't have to worry about all the things you have to worry about now if we were doing that in an office setting. Kellen can be a guy's name too. Hey. Mike Trout or Ken Griffey Jr.? Trout's probably the better all around. How many points will Kakko get this season? I think Kakko ends up being the top rookie point scorer this year, whether it's 70, 75 points, wherever he ends up. I think Hughes is going to take a little bit longer to transition into the NHL and get up to speed. So there may be talk as soon as next year that the better one is the better video the better player is Kakko is going to be the talk, I would think, next summer. But overall, Hughes still projects to be the better player. Tree never gave me a shout out in a video that I know of. He did it in a tweet where he said, if you guys want to see good hockey content, go here. And he posted a link to my channel, and it helped. They are making a new Jay and Silent Bob movie, I heard, although they were going to do Clerks 3, and they just couldn't talk Randall into doing it again. He said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And without Randall, it's not Clerks. Did I delete the 2016 NHL Draft Lottery reaction? No, I deleted the 2015 one. Because there were far too many people that read too much into that. And my emotional reaction, which I don't do anymore, as being more than it really was. So, yeah, I got rid of that. Does LA bounce back this year? They need help. Hi, Kimber. Yeah, goodbye, horses. Yes. Yes, Kimber. Goodbye, horses. Yeah. And I didn't do that my last day there, even though, Kimber, you wanted me to do that. I didn't do it. Oh, Bill and Ted 3. God's sake. Jack Hughes is being compared to Patrick Kane because of his skill set and his size. And Hughes has played the wing as well. And Hughes may very well end up playing the wing when he starts out his career in the NHL too. May not start at center. He can play center. He may start on the wing. So we'll see, but that's what it is, that they're comparable when it comes to the speed, their skill, and their size. Yeah, 76-73 for Toronto right now. Is Hughes on McDavid's talent level? No, nobody is. Do I like roller coasters? I like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I don't do roller coasters. Happened to the Blackhawks? They had goaltending issues and had that massive losing streak. They just couldn't get out of it. Raptors are done because you want them to win. I never said I wanted the Raptors to win. I have not said I want the Raptors to win. I had an idea today and I said to Yvonne, I said, hey, could I buy this? And she said, no. I was like, come on. And she's like, no. And it was a Golden State Warriors hat. And I'm like, come on. And she's like, don't you dare. I said, but it would be funny. And she said it wouldn't be funny. Do franchise mode for NHL 19? Eventually, yes. Yes. If you see a guy as center wing, it means that, yeah, he plays both spots. And there's a lot of that in like I said, the Black Book. It talks about wing, center, and center wing for certain prospects. So it's really fun, and it tells you exactly where they play, and it gives you all these scout notes too. So on the really high prospects, they actually give you notes from the scouts and the dates of when the scouts said it. It's actually really cool. Hey, Sean. Did the Hawks let Nashville sweep get into their heads? No. Jeremy Colton, I like him as a coach. Changing coaches didn't help the Hawks, but what I heard, and again, I don't report this at the time, and I stay out of it because I hear things from people. I'll get emails saying, here's what I've heard. I heard that there were problems in the Blackhawks locker room and that they needed to have a culture change, and that Quenneville being moved out was part of that culture change. So sort of similar, not to the same extent, but similar to Philly moving out Hextall with that same idea. The feeling was that the Blackhawks had a stale room and they needed to shake things up, and that Quenneville kind of had to go. Have I heard of Nell K? No. Did I get the Hockey News draft preview too? Yes, I did. It is actually right here. Yep, it's right here. What if I actually had basketball powers? That would be lame. That'd be really lame. I don't want basketball powers. I don't have any powers. Teams I cheer for never win. I don't have a problem with what the Raptors or the Blue Jackets have done in terms of going for it. You know, you get limited options and limited amount of times you can really go for it. Do I see McDavid ever getting traded? No. Should modern day shows add more realism and storylines and plots than they do now? I think Netflix is kind of forcing them to. Whiskey Cavalier is a show that was brought on by, I think it was ABC. I'm not sure, which starred Lauren Cohan, and I was like, oh, that's great. She got off Walking Dead. She gets to do something else. She gets to expand on. She's not just moping around as Maggie anymore. And that show got canceled in a year, and I think it got canceled. It didn't attract any eyeballs because it was kind of a hokey send back to 80s action shows, and people don't want that anymore. I think people really honestly want the more realistic stuff. So I think that's already started happening. Why am I a Padres fan? I loved their old who was it? I want to say Ken Singleton. It wasn't Ken Singleton. There was a member of the Padres that I used to watch on This Week in Baseball. I used to watch This Week in Baseball every week, and he was on there a lot. And the name escapes me right now, but it's what made me a Padres fan. And as a kid, the San Diego Chicken. San Diego chicken, absolutely 100%. And no, if the Raptors didn't trade for Kawhi, they wouldn't be in the finals. So Kawhi has totally dragged them there. Oh, Hoffman was awesome. And when he came out and Hell's Bells would play, oh, that was just great. That was fantastic. $80-76 in favor of Golden State. Toronto's in trouble here. Can't let this slip away. No, it wasn't Tony Gwynn. It was before Tony Gwynn. Gwynn came along in 83, and this was before 83. It's going to drive me nuts. I'll find it. Nope. Gary Templeton. No, I don't think so. How happy was I when the Padres were in the 2011 World Series? Come here. Come on, Shadow. Come on. You want up? Come on. I'll stand up. You can have that. You can have the spot. Yes, you can. And he's trying to jump into my lap, and that's a bad idea. Do I want Skittles America balls to be brought back? They didn't have them last year. Yes is the answer to that. Absolutely. They had the red, white, and blue Skittles, and they were fantastic. They didn't have them last year. What NHLer would make the best wrestler? Zdeno Chara. He's 6'9". Although Don Cherry would make a great wrestling manager. Oh, three-pointer by Golden State, 83-79. How old are the cats? Shadow and Bear are 5.5. You're 5.5, right? Yeah, he's 5.5. And Pixel and Lilybell are a year younger. Yeah, I didn't think the Padres made the World Series. I know they were in the playoffs, but I didn't really. I know they've been in the playoffs. I know they've never won it. I love my Pickle Rick jersey too. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorites. A Shadow. Just can't wear it on the hockey channel because, you know. What rule change does the NHL need most? I like the helmet thing. I think there should be more regulation when it comes to safety with players. Like, we're all coming down on the hockey league for not protecting players when it comes to concussions. Start making players wear all their equipment properly. That's a start, which includes the visor not being tilted up. Steve Garvey. I think that's who it was. I think it was Steve Garvey that was on the on This Week in Baseball, or TWIB as they always call it. This Week in Baseball, TWIB. I think it was Steve Garvey. I think that's right. Oh, missed a free throw. Why am I so amazing? I'm not. Kawhi Leonard is a beast. Absolutely a beast. Well, if they're going to keep missing free throws, that helps. Hey, Shadow. No, come here. You're way too. Ryan O'Reilly doesn't have to wear a visor because that's grandfathered in. If you didn't wear one before they made them mandatory, you don't have to wear them. Hey, right? Okay. Oh, what now? What happened? What the heck happened? Another guy tears his Achilles? Well, he's a lot like a dog. He follows me all over the house. He's really lived up to his name, Shadow, because he will follow me everywhere. He gets very upset if I'm in the bathroom and he's not in there. He gets very upset if I leave the house for 5 minutes. He's right at the door, like, where did you go? What happened to you? I thought you were dead. So he's very much like a dog that way. It's really, really sad. He is a big cat. He's a big kitty. There you go. You better now? Is that better? You all right? Silly cat. Oh, his knee went out from under him. That's not a dirty play. His knee went out from under him. And Steph Curry slamming the ball because that'd be another injured player. Yeah, that knee's done. Your knee comes down like that. I mean, the fact they're all 7 feet tall makes it even worse, right? Because they're all legs. So yeah, your knee goes out. That's it. So Thompson's out. Best goalie mask, Cujo. Anything Cujo wore was my favorite. The Blue Jackets won't be resigning Bob or Panarin. They're still trying with Duchesne, but Bob and Panarin are gone. See, I don't think, well, in this case, Toronto is the center of the universe for Canada because they're the only NBA team in Canada. Add more NBA teams in Canada, that wouldn't happen. But the only other city that I think the NBA would consider right now would be Vancouver, which of course failed the first time around. Montreal would be a smart option as well, but I don't know how realistic it is to think that the NBA would even think about it. Yes, Lundqvist is a Hall of Famer. Nate Thompson's okay. Oh, Klay Thompson's back in. Wow. I guess his knee's not that bad. Or he popped it back in. I don't know, kicked a locker or something. Oh, he has to shoot the free throws because if he doesn't, then he can't return to the game at all. So this doesn't necessarily mean that he's okay. Yeah, they went back and told him. Why would this be karma for the Warriors? Especially since he came back into the game. So, yeah, that could be a large yikes right there. Because they're already ahead by 3. So if he can play, just the emotional lift that gives them. Now they're ahead by 4. No, you can't pull a player off the ice for an extra goalie. He had to come back. He wasn't able to come back into the game if he didn't shoot the free throws here. He doesn't have a choice. He's able to run. He's running okay. Yeah, he's staying in the game. Wow. No, I like the 3-on-3 overtime. Philip Forsberg, he's the best star player that they have in Nashville, and that includes Arvidsson, who's my favorite player in Nashville. 85-81. So Thompson now he's going back to the locker room. Be interesting. Whose cats are whose? Well, now all 4 of them are ours. But Shadow and Bear are the cats that I had. Yvonne had Pixel and Lilybell, and when I moved in, I brought Shadow and Bear. I actually had 2 other cats. I had Maggie and Link, but they were older, so I got rid of them because I didn't think they would adjust to the move as well as the 2 younger cats did. And my cousin now has Maggie, who's she's got to be, what, 16 now? She's still going, too. And Link, who's about 12. And she regularly posts pictures of them taking them out for walks in the neighborhood. She lives in Burnaby, so yeah, I've had a lot of cats. The NHL won't get rid of the shootout, but I'm not a big fan of it. Jump ball 85-82 right now for Golden State. I really think Golden State's going to win this. I can't see the Warriors losing 3 at home. I can't see it. They missed the 3. I didn't think they needed to go for a 3 there either. You know, the one thing I've noticed with basketball now, they don't call traveling like they used to. There are a lot of steps that get taken now. A lot of times where I watch and I go, that was an interesting travel, but I guess the points count. Like, that's not a travel. Dear Lord. Anyways, will the NFL change overtime rules? I don't think so. If I was to get a dog, which breed would I get? Well, we have a decent-sized house, so I would probably get a decent-sized dog. I've always been partial to Labs or Newfoundlanders. Newfoundlander dogs are just wonderful. They're so affectionate, and they're big, too. They make decent guard dogs, which is kind of a thing I'd be looking for. But they're nice dogs, too. Will the Canucks make the playoffs if the Sedins came back? Not at 40 years of age, no. They actually were better this year without the Sedins than they were when they had them. Yeah, I've noticed they let the travels slide. It's just weird because they're travels. It's like 1, 2, 3 steps. Okay. Yeah, the live streams here are a lot more chill like they used to be on the Hockey Guy. But the Hockey Guy streams now are fun. I have to have a moderator. Like, well, my wife's not really moderator. She filters and asks the questions, and she's good at that. And I had to give her a hug after last night's because that was stressful. And then I reminded her, remember the big one's coming up for the draft. 88-83 Golden State with 1 minute left in the third quarter. 3-point field goals. Toronto's down to 10 for 23. They were 4 for 5 early. That's just killing them. I think the NBA could be better if they drafted the most skilled players. Probably. I enjoy the live videos too. Yeah, draft stream and free agency is going to be. I'll give lots of warning for those ones. Those are the big ones, and then it just sort of becomes summer. 88-84, 51 seconds left in the third quarter. Would I change NHL playoff seeding? No. There will never be a perfect system. There will always be a system. There will always be something that people get upset about. There's no such thing as a perfect system. I think they're going to change it, and I think within a year or two, people will be complaining about it already. Oh, come on. Just stand up. Sorry. shouldn't. Gotta remember, Shannon, you're live on the internet. Stop trying to draw fouls, damn it. Just stand up. Anyways. Caulfield or Zagras? Zagras, I believe, is ranked higher right now. Why do I think Canadian teams can't make decent cup runs? They haven't been good enough. Any thoughts Dubas will be more active than people think? It depends on how much cap space he can make and what he does. He's got to fix some problems in Toronto. Marner's going to want a lot of money. And, is he willing to go back on his word to Nylander, or is he bound and determined to keep everybody together, or is he willing to really risk it? They should count it. That was a good shot. Yeah, there you go. Have I ever seen the Globetrotters? Not live. I used to watch them on TV. Best Star Wars movie is Empire. I think they'll go back to 1 versus 8. How did you know I was talking about Danny Green? I never said Danny Green. I never said Danny Green was trying to sell it and get something. But yeah, just stand up. Come on. Will Toronto meet Boston in the first round again next year? Nah. I don't think that'll happen. Was the Crosby draft lotto draft? I think that it was interesting. It was weighted in favor of the teams that had missed the playoffs over the last couple of seasons, which Pittsburgh definitely had. But Pittsburgh, it turned out to be the best thing for the game and for hockey, but I was so mad at the time when he got drafted. Wait, are the Conservatives trying the... Okay, never mind. Am I going to see the new Men in Black movie? Absolutely. I don't know if I can talk Yvonne into it, but I absolutely plan to see it myself. Hockey strategy videos. To do that, I would want to bring in somebody else as well, because I don't think that I can explain it as well as others probably could. So that's not something I would want to do just by myself. I would want to expand that and have other people in it. NFL team in Canada, not as long as CFL's here. I don't think that happens. Favorite Spider-Man movie? The first Spider-Man movie. Have I seen the 1965 cartoon? Yeah, it used to be on TV all the time when I was a kid. Will Corey Crawford retire when his contract's over next season? Well, we'll see how healthy he is this coming year. If he can get back to 100% health, I think he can play for another couple of years, but it's going to depend on his health. His health's going to tell you a lot. Did I play sports growing up? Casually. No, I wasn't in the organized sports. I wasn't a jock. I played with my friends. We used to play soccer all the time. We played floor hockey and road hockey all the time. We would play football in the snow. The best time to play football is in the snow. Yeah, we didn't have mini golf courses around us, but we would make our own mini golf course. You just put holes in the ground all around the backyard. And all right, this is hole 1. There's 2. There's 3. It's more fun when the yard isn't actually mowed either. When it's overgrown grass, that's kind of fun. Last captain of the Blackhawks before Taves. It wasn't Dirk Graham. I could cheat. It'd be really easy for me to look it up, but I'm not going to do that. Rocket Robin Hood. I hated Rocket Robin Hood. Oh man. And it would be the same song 5 times and the same silly little cartoons 4 times. And it's like, why are you advertising the cartoon? And then it'd be like a minute and a half of the actual cartoon. And then they go right back to advertising it. I'm like, holy crap. It was torture to watch. It was on every Sunday. Rocket Robin Hood. Right?
What are you
Rocket
talking
Robin Hood every time.
Rocket Robin? What are you talking about?
Every Sunday, Rocket Robin Hood.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was some weird cartoon back in the 70s. Rocket Robin Hood.
I don't remember a cartoon from the 70s. Sorry.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
You remember Rocky and Bullwinkle?
I do remember. I did not like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
It was like Rocky and Bullwinkle, but less entertaining.
Oh.
And with more singing. And Newt.
I don't remember singing in Rocky.
Newt was
I didn't like Rocky and Bullwinkle though.
It was weird. Somebody's already saying hi. Lars is saying hi.
Hello.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was spoiled. I read the comics, and I used to play the TMNT role-playing game. And then when the cartoon came out, I was like, what's this crap? It's so much more fun in the role-playing game. It's so much darker and so much more like realistic feeling. And then the cartoon was just sort of them wanting pizza. I was disappointed. See the score. See how much you missed? See, look, it's 89-88. You missed so much.
No.
Favorite Rick and Morty episode? The me. But the Pickle Rick episode is close. Oh, Marty LaPointe. Yeah, I never would have got that. Oh, Noob is fantastic. It's a shame that it's an episode that's not really that great, but at least Rick and Morty goes, yeah, this episode isn't very good. They say it pretty much right out loud, but Noob is fantastic. Oh, Ibaka missed it. That's a foul. Yeah, that's a foul. Is that Lowry? Oh, what Rickies did she get that outfit out of? It's nothing. Favorite NBA team growing up? Celtics. Because I wasn't a fan of the Lakers. Chernobyl, we want it. We intend to. Tuukka Rask, Tim Thomas. Tuukka. Panarin or Carlson? I think Panarin's want, and that works. Because their problem really was off. It's you. I didn't have a problem with this game. How was he? Your computer?
I don't know.
Ask question.
Where are you? Do you go as far as like the Orville?
Why would that knock the game? Okay, but it's like a Star Trek type show. No, but the Orville isn't. The Orville isn't like Family Guy. It's not a bunch of scatological humor. See, look at her outfit. I'm saying she got that at Ricky's.
That is. Okay.
Is that shoulder pads or is it my imagination?
I think that's shoulder pads.
Wow. And look at those shirts that say stay golden. See, stay golden. They're all wearing yellow shirts that say stay golden. You can't write that kind of comedy. Hey, we'll get this and make them wear them. I'll bet you Toronto fans got them to wear them.
Do you watch the NFL every Sunday? Yeah. No.
I don't have time.
Yeah, this stream's cropping out because I just plugged my computer in and I turned it on, and that's what happens. And my internet cuts out at the same time as the cable does. Mm-hmm. Every time. I'm not sure what the deal is, but yeah, see, it's cutting out. Look at that.
Sorry.
It's my computer.
It's fine on my end.
But see, you're not watching the stream. You're watching you on the camera. See, mine, yeah. Sorry, I killed it.
She killed it.
Canadian internet. Well, our internet's way better than the American internet. Oh, everybody's always like, "Oh, our internet's really fast," and then we get down there and it's
American internet sucks.
Terrible.
It's awful.
That think they have fast internet. It's just atrocious.
We've got how many different things on this internet? Like 8.
A lot.
And you don't even notice it 9 times out of 10.
Except for when I plug my computer in down here.
It's you.
Everywhere else is fine.
It's you. Now we know it's you.
Okay.
So for the draft live stream, we'll do it on the upstairs.
thoughts on the Flintstones and the Jetsons? Oh, I watched them when I was little. I watched them both. I preferred the Jetsons over the Flintstones.
But
I
how
think
did they
the
exist in the
Flintstones-
same universe?
I know.
That's the weird
And
thing.
remember when they had movies with both of them?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Is it like the Jetsons are above? Like, is it post-apocalyptic world that the Flintstones live in?
And I think it's funny, a lot of things that they had in the Jetsons we have now. Like,
Yes.
remember they had the video calls
Yep.
and they put on the masks so they
Mhm.
look all nice.
Yep.
See, and now we have video calls and we have filters.
Yep.
Same thing. Where
Look,
is-
the new Fast and Furious
where-
movie.
Oh, another one? Got like 20
That's the
or-
Hobbs and Shaw. No, the new actual Fast and Furious comes out next year and has John Cena in it.
Oh, whatever. Where do you think Panarin will go?
I think the Rangers. Rangers make sense.
Yvonne, how was your day? Busy as always.
It is.
It was really busy today because I had Adelaide had Girl Guides, Gabriel had Scouts.
How did Gabriel do?
It was just I had to go watch it. He's telling me all about how his jaw hurts and I don't like the numbing and I'm like,
What numbing?
How they numbed his jaw and then the numbing wore off and so it hurt and I said, well, that's gonna happen.
They have
And
to
he goes,
numb your jaw.
well, can't they just knock me out? And I said, it doesn't work like that.
No.
So I think he wants to be knocked out until it doesn't.
He had some dental work done and
By
they didn't
dental
knock him
work,
out to do it.
They pulled out 2 teeth.
Yeah.
So, Are you guys Metallica fans? Yes.
Everything except Saint Anger.
Yeah, that was.
Saint Anger was absolute unmitigated garbage. I was so excited too when that album was coming out, and then I heard the Saint Anger song, and I'm like, is this a joke? This is it?
Do you like Megadeth or Seven Dust? I liked Seven Dust.
I like Megadeth.
I'm not. They're all right. But... Can John Cena have a successful acting career?
Absolutely. He already does. He's a good actor.
What are your thoughts of Shamrock Shakes?
They're fantastic.
Are you happy with the Bruins season and future?
Yep. Yes to both. Oh, Love Island starts July 9th. Gonna watch Love Island with me?
I'm gonna guess that's another like.
That's a bunch of sexy people fooling around with each other.
Right? No,
Yeah.
Do you like Nickelback?
She does.
I sure.
I like their
do.
last album,
Their
but
last album's great. What TV shows should I watch?
Black Mirror, Flash. She makes a face when I say Flash. She's not a fan.
I watched one episode and I wasn't a fan. Yeah.
I guess we could try a second episode and see if you like it better.
What are your plans for Father's Day?
You're looking at them.
I have church on Father's Day because it's Sunday, but
Yeah, I don't think we're planning much of anything. We don't have any of the kids.
Okay. If you make it quick, it's after 8 o'clock. What was Yvonne's reaction when Freddy Krueger turned into a worm? I don't remember. I just remember that one was ridiculous. We did a review on that one, though.
Now, he turns into a worm a few times.
Yeah.
He turns into a caterpillar in Freddy vs. Jason. Remember when he's pretending he's smoking pot?
Yeah.
And then he's a worm coming out of the floor in Dream Warriors, and he's eating the girl.
Oh.
Remember that?
No.
Dream Warriors? Just
I remember what movie you're talking about. Do I get points for that?
Dream Warriors is where they all have superpowers to fight him.
Yeah, I remember that part.
And then it doesn't matter. They just die anyways.
Yeah. How much longer for the game?
7 minutes.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes. 91-93 for the yellow ones.
Golden State is up 93-91. Don't start
Who's
slamming
it?
the game now.
Who's that comedian that was joking about basketball and how you could just cut out most of the game and just started at like 100, give him 15 minutes? Yeah.
That's a pretty standard criticism of basketball.
It's just silliness. Do you have any tattoos still? Still? Where are you hiding one?
I don't have one unless you put one behind my ear like cats and dogs have, so that if I'm found somewhere, they know where I
That's a
belong.
good idea. Good plan. Are you
3-pointer by Toronto.
Montreal anytime soon?
Montreal?
Yeah.
Won't be this year.
No. Could be fun though.
Oh, absolutely. It would be fun.
Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Awesome.
Do I like Nirvana?
Thinking.
No. No. Yvonne, I do not.
Is your
Nirvana.
I don't have that.
And then what
I don't
that
have
I've been to, it would be
Mine's
Washington.
not working.
What's your favorite state?
My state?
Most people around here would say drunk.
Like state.
There
Oh,
you-
yeah, my chat's working now. My video's off though. Oh,
Jeez.
there he goes. Favorite. I haven't been to enough states to have a favorite.
No.
I've been to Washington, Idaho.
I've been to Washington, Idaho, Nevada.
I've been to Oregon, California. Yeah,
Nevada.
If you crossed the bridge, we drove across the bridge and went to Arizona. Remember, we touched Arizona.
We did. We touched Arizona.
Wisconsin and Minnesota.
More than I have.
I've been to the airport in New York and the airport in Georgia. I think that's it. So I don't think I've been to enough states to have an opinion.
Me neither.
Do you think Tuukka Rask will have a good year next year?
Yep. Yeah, Tuukka made me a believer again this year. I won't criticize him again.
Any plans to visit Dallas for a Stars game this coming season?
Yes. I don't know when, but yes. Because Dallas is not an expensive trip.
How do you like NBA jerseys compared to NHL ones?
No. They're tank tops.
They are expensive tank tops.
Well, on full moon jerseys, I can get them for $20. I can get a Toronto one for 15 if I don't mind having Calderon on the back. You remember Calderon, right?
What?
She doesn't know who Calderon is.
What are you saying? Calderon?
Calderon played for the Toronto Raptors. Yeah. Calderon. Calderon.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you one person on their team right now. So.
Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard.
All right.
Serge Ibaka.
Is that really his name?
Yeah.
It's a funny name.
He's all gangly too. He looks like Chewbacca.
NBA jerseys have ads on them.
Yes, they have a little ad in the corner. And Steve Dangle drove everybody. I don't know if it was a live stream or what it was, but he tweeted out that they had ads on them, and he said, "You know what? It's not the end of the world." And people are like, "Are you advocating for them in the NHL jerseys?" Yeah, that didn't go well.
If I ever visit Canada, what food places do you think I should try?
Boston pizza.
Nah.
It's a Canadian thing.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons, you have to have Tim Hortons.
Timmy's, yeah.
You have to go to Timmy's, have a donut and a coffee. If you don't like coffee, have a French vanilla.
Coffee's disgusting.
Can you go get me a French vanilla? Their French vanillas are fantastic.
I just got home.
I know, but Timmy's is just around the corner.
Well, then walk. It's not just around the corner. We live in like the Timmy's dead zone.
Fine. I thought you loved me, but now I see the extent is Timmy's.
Coffee's gross. It is. It tastes like dirt. White spots. Yes, but white spot's a BC thing. It's not just Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Pizza 73 is just Alberta.
Have you ever seen the movie I Spit on Your Grave?
I have. Yvonne will never watch it.
Is it a horror movie?
You never want to see it.
Okay. All right. What do you think about the Islanders stadium situation?
They're building one in Belmont, so that's going to get built. It should fix all of the problems that teams had.
Wives shouldn't make their husbands walk to Timmy's. Well,
Pascal Siakam with that one.
Walk to Timmy's, but if he wants Timmy's, he can get it himself. Love you guys, but I'm a cheap Scotsman.
I'm half Scotsman myself,
best
so yeah.
City in Canada?
I'm
Live
biased.
in
I'd say
city.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
biased. I'd say Vancouver.
See, I don't know about city because I probably wouldn't say Vancouver. I'd probably say one of the surrounding cities. But I think we live in one of the best parts of Canada just for our climate, and it's really pretty here.
It never gets too cold. It never gets too hot. It's just really nice.
Fantastic. And it's really pretty.
Yeah.
We live in a very beautiful part of the world.
Oh, it's a rainforest. Somebody made a comment on the live stream we did at Hickey Park, like, oh, is this held in the rainforest? Yep.
Yeah. We live in a temperate rainforest. That's the
that is
biome
legitimately what it is.
Why are you yelling at me? Why? Yes, we talked about this morning when we were learning.
Yeah, you learned about that in family school.
Did you guys ever try Pizza Hut? Yeah.
I like Pizza Hut.
I think it's gross.
Because they have the cheese crust. They're fantastic.
It's greasy.
It can be. Well, you can dab it with a cloth though, and just dab off the grease. I've done that before.
We actually have a Pizza Hut.
Heard anything on the Flames arena talk?
No. Last I heard that the city was going to talk to the team, and I haven't heard anything since then. I look it up about once a week. I haven't heard anything new.
Shannon, did you recently get the nice Bobby Hull jersey from Full Moon?
Yep. They dropped the price by $10 US. So I got it then.
As a Victorian, I say Victoria. Victoria is very nice. Very pretty.
Victoria is on the list of places we want to go and visit.
Shannon,
if we can
what
figure it
kind
out.
of food does Canada make that you cannot get anywhere else? Well, cannot get properly made?
See, I would have said that about poutine until we went to Vegas.
Yes, but that's a restaurant owned by a Canadian.
I know, but it was still proper poutine. It was fantastic.
Everywhere else, no.
Golden State's up 101.99.
Butter tarts, they don't have those other places.
No.
Which I didn't know that when I was little. I did not know that was a.
Mom,
I didn't know that.
that.
Nanaimo bars. That's
True.
a very Canadian.
Golden State's pulling away now if they get this one.
Let's see. Tootsya. Can't get that other places.
Wow, there was no foul on that either. Nice, they got it back clean.
Once the health is resolved, I'm visiting Abbotsford. That's true. He totally should.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're waiting for you here. You got lots of jerseys to wear when you come up too.
This game is so close, back and forth.
Yeah, how did they get that without a foul? That's fantastic. Oh, Green wanted it.
Do you have any Dunkin' Donuts in Canada or just Tim Hortons? I've never seen a Dunkin' Donuts.
Nope.
Well,
I've seen Krispy Kreme, but not an actual Krispy Kreme restaurant. It was a Krispy, like when they have the Krispy Kreme boxes, the fundraisers, they have the Krispy Kreme, but they're not real Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just basically Timmy's up here.
Yeah.
For donuts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But no, we went to that Dunkin' Donuts in Vegas, and the donuts were really gross.
I mean, the 7-Elevens up here have a ton of donuts in them, but and in blind taste tests, they actually were considered the better product, but
Tootsya is very Canadian. Yep.
Oh, yes. The fact she calls it Tootsya?
What else would you call it?
Turtery. That's how it's spelled. It's spelled Turtery.
No.
Turter. It is too. It's spelled Turter.
Dork.
Tootsya. It's Turter.
It is not. Maple bacon pancakes? No.
Sounds fantastic.
Surrey has a Krispy Kreme. Is that where they get all the fundraisers? I had wondered where all the fundraisers get the Krispy Kreme donuts.
We need to go to Krispy Kreme in Surrey when we go in on Saturday.
We have to figure out where it is. It's probably way out of the way.
3-pointer for Toronto. 104-101 with 3:44 left.
Why would I want to go to Krispy Kreme?
Because we have one in Canada.
Absolutely nothing that I could eat there.
But you could watch
Tim
me.
Hortons named after the hockey player.
Yes. Yes, he founded it.
He's the one that started it.
He founded it. It's actually when you go in, every Tim Hortons, when you go in, it's got like a little biography of him.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have pictures of him as well on the walls.
They have hockey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of hockey.
Yep.
Do you think the Bruins win the Coyle trade? It's on Scott Road. Oh,
Right now, yes.
really? Where on Scott Road?
I
I'm
don't
trying to
know. Ask
picture
your
it.
phone. Your phone will tell you.
I don't know where my phone is.
I don't know where your phone is either. It's not really my
It's
problem.
Probably in my purse or
It's
something.
not really my problem.
Do you still have the Hossa whole jersey?
Yes.
The Hossa. What would you do with it?
Yes. I still have it because it's amazing.
You could do the donut challenge. I don't know what it is, but I'm thinking no. I'm gonna guess it's something stupid.
It's probably how many donuts I can stick in my
Right, how
mouth.
many you can put in your mouth, or how fast you can eat one, or something.
Anything that involves me putting things in my mouth, I'm just going to say no.
Right.
That's just no.
Will Jordan Binnington have a great season next year?
Too early to tell, but man, winning a Stanley Cup sure helps. Takes the pressure off. I don't see any reason why he won't.
Have you guys tried Greco Pizza?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
No. I haven't heard of it either.
Tim Hortons, Starbucks, Krispy Kreme, or Dunkin' Donuts?
Timmy's. And when you're in Canada, it's just Timmy's. It's just that's it.
Starbucks, we have Starbucks here. They're so expensive.
Starbucks is very expensive.
Comparatively, because Timmy's are really
You can
cheap.
go into Timmy's, you can get a French vanilla for like $2, and it's fantastic. You go to Starbucks, you might pay $5 for a drink, and it's
so expensive.
okay, but
Yeah.
you're like, I could have got 2.5 Timmy's for this price.
And see, I drink steep tea, so it's less than $2. Especially if I bring in my own cup.
Yep.
It's cheap. I can go. I know I can take the kids to Timmy's. I can get a steep tea. I can get them each a hot chocolate and Timbits for $6.
Yep.
Starbucks is way better quality. See, I like steep tea, and Starbucks tea is just
To me,
tea bags,
to me,
so
I
it's
much
not.
prefer Timmy's. 106, 101 now. Toronto's up by 5 with 3 minutes left.
Yes.
Golden State has to score here.
Yes, Tim Hortons is really named after the NHL player. He
Yep.
named it after himself.
They missed the 3. That's got to be a foul.
I'm doing something. Greco Pizza is in Atlantic.
Ibaka got the foul on that one.
Ontario. Well, that's why I've never heard of it. Dunkin' is pretty good. We weren't impressed.
I prefer Krispy Kreme.
If you like Popeye's chicken, we have 2 locations now. One in Coquitlam and the other in Surrey. They were good.
Popeyes was good, yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Favorite tea flavor? Oh, choices. There's a lot.
We go to David's, so there's a lot of flavors.
I have a tea cupboard.
Yes.
I like tea's fantastic. I don't like green tea though. Green tea's gross.
I don't mind green tea, depending on the flavor.
I don't like
from David's.
Yeah, I don't like green tea.
Some of them aren't bad. 4-point lead now for Toronto. 106-102. 2:42 left.
Lowry is playing 2 good tonight, I'm gonna guess.
Way short on that 3, but they got the ball back.
Dunkin's is good when I've had it in the States. It wasn't good when we had it.
We've tried it 3 times, I think, and each time it's
Yes.
disappointing.
Yeah, their donuts taste like they're days old.
Yeah.
Like the ladies that work there were really
108-102. 6-point lead for Toronto.
Yeah.
2 minutes left.
Horton was a great player, considered the strongest man in the NHL. Tragic death. Thoughts on
3-pointer
Padjo
for Golden State.
Padjos?
Hmm?
Padjos, if you've been, I don't even know what that is.
No idea.
Do you think Jack Edwards is funny?
Oh, I like Jack Edwards. He's biased as hell, but he's really entertaining.
Have you tried Cheesecake Factory?
No, but I've seen it on Big Bang Theory enough
I
times.
went to one. It was forever ago. Like, I'm trying to think if I think Malachi was a baby, and
Do they have one around us anywhere?
No. And the one time I went to one, I don't even remember anything about it other than I wasn't impressed. They had a stupid huge menu, and I just remember it not being very good.
Yeah.
Have you had In-N-Out burgers? If not,
We
you
did.
need to when you hit Vegas.
We went to that one in Vegas. Yeah, we
And
did.
It wasn't terrible, but I
Wasn't
don't
bad.
understand why everybody thinks it's awesome.
But it was a wait.
It
Remember, it was crazy.
Yes, but I don't understand why everybody talks about it being so good. It was.
I don't know. But then again, I didn't really like Fat Burger either.
No.
Fat Burger was
No, that was. It was
Carl's is
expensive.
fantastic.
Yeah, when we went to Fat Burger, it was just one of those. Okay, Carl's is better, and this is way more expensive.
Yeah.
Should there be more MLB, NFL, and NBA teams in Canada? Yeah.
I think Montreal and Vancouver would be on the list for any of those organizations, or I should say leagues. I don't know if it ends up happening though. I think the leagues have expanded about as far as they're willing to. Is that an offensive foul?
Lars is going to see Rammstein next week.
Lucky Lars.
First time since 2005.
Are they really calling an offensive foul or defensive foul there? He pushed him. How is that a foul on Lowry?
Is there
He pushed him.
Steak and Shake in Canada, because Steak and Shake is dank doo-doo trash. I've never heard
No.
of it. I think.
How do you call a foul on Lowry when he's standing there?
I think In-N-Out is a bit of an acquired taste. The first time I had it, I just thought it was average. But now that I've gone a few times, it's my favorite fast food place by far.
So they get you hooked like Timmy's. Timmy's puts
Girl,
extra
by the
caffeine
way.
in their drinks. So it's still a 3-point lead for Toronto with 1 minute and 13 seconds left.
Do you have Five Guys burgers and fries? Yes.
Yes.
Have them. I don't get these calls.
Oh.
My
Screen's gone again.
Yeah.
You killed it.
Five Guys is the best. Lowry's feet weren't set. That's why it was a foul.
I still don't agree with that.
Oh, there it goes.
That's back.
I guess you're gonna get the new Canucks jerseys.
Yep. That's an automatic.
There's 40 seconds left of the game.
1 point lead for Toronto, 109-108. Boy, if Toronto loses this one by 1 point like the last game, that'd be a heartbreaker.
37.7 seconds.
Hey, come here.
1 point ahead. Where are they going?
Timeout.
Oh, okay. It just looked like they were leaving.
Yeah.
You guys have Moxies. Yes.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they do. When was the last time any Canadian team has won a championship before tonight?
Montreal.
CFL.
I don't know if a Canadian team's won since the Montreal Canadiens, because the Blue Jays would have been later than that. The Blue Jays' second championship would have been later than that, I think. And that's it. Canada doesn't win championships. That's not a thing.
Those new Canucks jerseys are hot.
They just dropped the word mark though. The third jersey is weird. I don't know how long the third jersey is going to last. I'm getting it, but I don't know how long it's going to
Please
last.
get the new Hawks collar jersey because the toilet seat collar sucks. It doesn't though.
I don't mind it. I really don't mind the Hawks. I get why they would change it, but I don't think it's going to be a big change.
No. Would you ever consider coming to Nashville for a meetup?
Absolutely, yes.
What do you think about IHOP?
She's not an IHOP fan.
No.
I don't mind IHOP.
I don't like it. Put a ton of sugar on everything.
They've got a really good commercial campaign going on right now, an advertising campaign where they make fun of the fact that they're only supposed to make pancakes.
Blue Jays, yeah. But they'd be a more recent winner, wouldn't they?
Blue Jays was 93, but that'd be October of 93, and Montreal won the Stanley Cup in June of 93.
27 seconds.
And 2-pointer for Toronto, so they're up by 3 with 25 seconds left. So now they have to hit a 3. What?
Waffle House is the greatest. I have no idea what that is.
Which one?
Waffle House?
I've heard of Waffle House. I haven't been there.
Does Shannon have the Tampa Blue Storm jersey?
No.
That one's expensive.
That one's about $300. I look for it every week. Then the Nashville one, the ugly Nashville that I'm finally getting, I've been looking for that every week for years. Okay, so now it's 111, 109. He's better off to miss this free throw and try to get it off the bounce and go for the 2 points. Oh, the fouls in basketball are so chintzy. It just drives me nuts after watching hockey where they let things go, and then in basketball, that's not a thing.
Waffle House hash browns are a must-have.
So 111, 110 for Toronto with 18.5 seconds left. Shot clock is gone.
I don't understand the penalties in this because some things it doesn't look like it'd be a penalty and they call it a penalty, but I see other guys grabbing guys and that's not a penalty. I don't know.
Yeah, it's who the shooter is and who the defender is, and it's just yeah. So now they call another timeout. 18 and a half seconds left.
Divers. They make
Yes.
Neimer look like a Lady Bing winner.
Yes, they are. There is a lot of diving in basketball. There was one point before he came home where guys just doubled over like he's dead, and I'm like, come on, dude, just have some self-respect.
Will Bennington win the Calder?
I think it's going to go to Pedersen because they vote on it before the playoffs. If it was voted on after the playoffs, even after the first round, it goes to Bennington, but it's voted on before the playoffs.
What is one? Where to go? NHL rule you think needs to be made?
I think I answered that one earlier. Shot clock would be great. But anyways, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I think if they just enforced guys wearing their safety gear properly, which includes helmets and their visors, I think that would be great.
Helmets shouldn't fall off just by being bumped. And the angled up visor is just stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't protect anything.
Basketball take 20 minutes to play the last 10 seconds.
It's
Sounds
bad.
Like football to me.
It is bad. The last 2 minutes of a basketball game can take forever.
Never really got basketball. I usually can get into most games, but this, nah. Oh man, holy hell! Let's just start and stop. Yeah. Not. Did you try to get?
They have to
the
foul.
NHL awards voting.
Wow, he threw the ball away with 9.6 seconds left.
What?
Now Golden State calls a timeout.
What? Didn't they just do a timeout 2 seconds?
Yeah, but now they call a timeout because off the timeout you get half court. So now they get to throw the ball in from half court. And now they can take a Hail Mary shot with 9.6 seconds left. And the We the North crew can just absolutely lose their minds if Toronto loses by a point again. This is unforgivable.
Isn't this the third timeout in the past
But look at this.
5 seconds?
This is unforgivable. I don't even know what they're doing there. That's a Hail Mary that he didn't need to throw. Because there's no shot clock. There's no shot clock, so there's no reason for Green to throw that pass. That could be the championship right there. I don't know what he's thinking. Wow. Somewhere LeBron's going,
This is so ridiculous. Why don't they just play the stupid game?
because now they got to take a timeout and come up with a plan for this last 9 seconds. It's the last timeout.
Just
See?
had a timeout.
That's it. It's the last. No, that was a Toronto timeout. Now it's a Golden State timeout.
That was 4 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it at 13 seconds they had a timeout?
Something like that. 18 seconds.
So what has changed in the past 4 seconds?
Toronto gave up the ball.
Hold on, we got to talk about
Toronto gave up the ball. So now, here we go.
Don't they already know how to play the game?
Toronto doesn't. They threw the ball away with 9 seconds left.
Ridiculous. Are they going to lose by 1 point again? LOL.
It sure looks like it. Just get it underneath.
Oh, 3 seconds. They're rolling on the floor.
9 seconds.
9 seconds.
All right, another timeout.
Not 9 seconds. 0.9.
Timeout. Wait, they're calling a technical foul? Why is Curry happy? Why is Steve Kerr happy?
Women do know plenty about sports. I'm pretty sure genitals have nothing to do with understanding sports. Just putting that out there.
Wait, so if... Oh my God. He did this. He tried to call a timeout when they didn't have any. That's a foul. Isn't it? That's what the technical is then. Toronto just won the championship because he did this. This is the only thing dumber than throwing the ball away with 9 seconds left. What was the college game? There was a college game where a basketball player tried calling a timeout when they didn't have any. And that cost them the championship. Somebody's going to know in the chat.
Favorite restaurant of all time? I don't know.
White spot. I don't know. Birders.
I was gonna say Birders.
We'll just vote with Birders. Local restaurant / pub.
Series over. Canada has the championship title.
It sure looks like it. It's only 0.9 seconds left, and there's no timeouts. But they're standing around to talk about it. So that's the important thing, Yvonne.
But this isn't.
They're all they're all standing around to talk about it.
They're just huddling
to maximize it, so they can get another commercial break with NBC or ESPN or whoever else is covering this.
What? I don't.
Wow.
It's not a timeout, but they still gotta stand there talking.
Only for a couple of minutes. Can you imagine this in hockey?
It takes forever. It's reminding me of football. Part of what I hate about football is just like, oh, we're stopping again. It's longest 5 minutes ever. 2 legacy of failures ended in 1 week.
Sure looks like it.
Chris Webber called a timeout for Michigan.
Yes, that's what it was. Chris Webber. And he called a timeout when they didn't have any, and that's a foul. You can't do that. Which is weird, isn't it? Yeah. Shouldn't a referee just look at a guy and go, you don't have any, stupid? And that's just it?
I don't understand why they're still not playing.
Because there's a free throw coming up. So they have a free throw, and then there's an inbounds after the free throw. Oh, my gosh.
This is not making me like
so here's a free throw first. This is the technical. That's good. So now it's 112, 110. And now they get to inbound the ball with 0.9 seconds left. Are you excited? You excited now?
Did the Raptors win? No, there's still 0.9 seconds
0.9 seconds left. They're up by 2.
So ridiculous. Okay, come on. Isn't time up now? There
the Toronto Raptors
no bloody time.
Are the NBA champions.
Yeah, it's all pixelated again.
They did it. They did it. And Toronto goes completely and totally crazy.
I'm sure it's all Canada.
It's all across Canada. Congratulations to the Raptors. Why are they standing around? What are they standing around for now? Oh, another foul, Yvonne. Another foul. Is that what they're calling?
Who? Touching each other. It's like a penalty. It's a penalty, but in basketball they call it foul.
So is the game over or not?
They called another timeout after they lost. Yeah, they're still standing around looking at the cameras and stuff.
What?
Are they deciding if the game's over?
What? Why is everybody standing around? This is so weird. Van Vliet's had an amazing game. Good bounce back for him. He's had a couple of rough games in these finals. I don't know what's going on either. The time is up. There's no time on the
That guy
clock.
looks
They're ahead by
confused,
2.
too. He looks confused too. He's like, can't we celebrate?
And
now?
and the
Because
points, Kawhi's shot should have counted. It should be a 4-point game too.
this is why I hate the NBA. I'm sorry, then stop doing that. Get your pajamas on. It's late. This is why I hate NBA.
I don't know what's going on. All right, there's no time on the clock. Well, let's just stand around looking at each other. What are we doing? Wait, why is there 0.9 seconds left again?
Longest second ever.
They put the second back on the clock.
Oh my god. Shannon. I'm starting to think this
Adelaide,
is
go
worse
get
than
changed.
football. Oh, dear Lord.
Wait, oh, now there's free throws.
Ah, the game's not over. Still going.
Okay, now it's 1:13. Kawhi's at the line.
Holy crap. They decided the game's not over. There's still 0.9 seconds left again. Now they're ahead by 3 points.
And
Now
that's the
they're
game. They're ahead by 4 with 1 second left.
And now they're starting the time. Hey,
Now they're the NBA champions. Unless another foul is called during the celebrations, they're the champs.
Now do they get to celebrate? Because everybody else is already celebrating.
Toronto went nuts like 15 minutes ago. This was over in Toronto 15 minutes ago.
Foul was called. It should be 0.1 second. The officiating in the NBA is much worse than NHL.
Just give Kawhi the basket. I don't understand why they didn't just give Kawhi the basket.
That was just stupid. There was one situation where the Suns called a timeout without any, so they could give the FT to the other team.
Free throw.
Okay, and steal the ball on the inbound, and it worked. It was the 82 finals.
So it was that long ago. 37 years ago.
They called a foul on a foul.
So there you go. The Toronto Raptors are the NBA champions in 2019. I didn't think that would happen.
Most
All right, guys.
boring ending ever.
That was the weirdest ending I've ever watched.
I thought it ended. Oh.
With a second left. All right, that's it. Yeah, put the second back on because, I don't know, reasons. Anyways, thank you guys so much for attending. This was fun. I guess like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, happened upon this live stream.
It'd be a weird thing to happen upon.
And I'll talk to you guys again soon.
A
What?
bird just flew into the window.
Is it okay?
One. I don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to check on the bird, make sure it's not dead, and I'll talk to you again soon.